Hey everybody! In this month's Hero Arts kit video, I am making a fun little gift set for my sister of some recipe cards for some classic Hawaiian cocktails. Now, this is the main kit. It has all kinds of fun Hawaiian images in it, many of which I am using. And of course, it comes with dies. I'm not using the dies for this project, but I am using them for the wraparound that goes around the cards. Now, these recipes are a collection of sort of classic Hawaiian drink recipes. And to create the cards, what I did was I purchased a recipe card template, which was an Adobe Illustrator file, and then I modified it. It had lines for the instructions on the right-hand side, and I wanted to remove those so that it would be easier for me to populate them with my recipes. And then I added this cute little martini glass in the top left, and I added my own fonts. And then I typed all of my recipes into Illustrator to create the cards. I printed them on cardstock and then cut them down to size. So I picked out an image for each recipe, sort of kind of looking at the recipe and picking which one would be great. A lot of the images in this kit are just perfect for recipe cards, and the whole thing was inspired by the tiki cup image. Those are just an obsession of mine. I love those things. And that's what gave me the idea to do a gift set, was this little image right here. So I stamped all of these in intense black ink, and then on this image I added some indigo ink for the little waves image for this little hut that's kind of out on the water. I think that everybody in the world probably right now could really use a Hawaiian vacation, but that probably won't happen for a while. I loved our time in Hawaii. It's a wonderful place. Now, when I started coloring this, I ended up going a little bit too dark on this, so I printed this card again and colored it again. The brown sort of made my tiki cup look a little bit scary, so I ended up redoing it with brighter, happier colors than this dark brown that you see in the video. So in the finished card, you'll see my second attempt at coloring this. But I'm using my fine point graphite alcohol markers. If you want an alcohol marker with a super duper fine point, these are the one and only for me. And I have a coupon code for those on my blog if you need a set of markers. This little pineapple image, there's a big background stamp this month that has these same beautiful pineapples, but bigger. It's very fun. I have another project coming with that background stamp, but these are super fun to color. And I just love the pineapple imagery. I probably have 20 pineapple stamps. Like I can't not buy them. The other inspiration for this little gift set is my grandfather, who used to have cocktails every day at 5 o'clock with my grandmother on the porch. And it was their little ritual. It was so fun. None of us were allowed to go out on the porch when they were having their happy hour. And I love that they did it every single day consistently. He was a very precise person, so that doesn't surprise me. But it was fun, and so I always feel kind of nostalgic when I find a fun drink recipe. Now, to create the belly band for the recipe card set, I'm creating a background with this stunning new water image, and I wanted to show you a fun little inking technique. So if you want to partially ink a background stamp and you don't want the square or rectangular image of the ink pad to show up in your finished design, just twist it as you're applying the ink, and it'll remove that rectangle shape and give you this sort of distressed all over look that I'm going for today. I wanted to use 2 different colors of blues and get the ink to look a little bit distressed, and this is the best way to do it. Now, you do need to clean your stamp in between, and because this is a water reactive ink and I'm not using that property of the ink in this project, I also just dry it by putting my hand on the image after I've cleaned it with my absorber. So that's why you'll see me petting my stamp. So after the Pool Party ink, I'm doing the same inking technique with splash ink, which is not as green, a blue, and I'm not paying attention really to where I'm getting the ink versus what's already down on the paper. I just want an all over distressed multicolored background. Now, the cool thing about cling stamps is your paper doesn't stick to them when you lift it up. So even though this is just floating in the middle of my MISTI, it's fine because the paper is not going to move with the magnet just holding it down. It doesn't need to be in the corner. I do have another video on how to use a template in your MISTI to help you use these large cling background stamps on just card fronts. So there's a link to that should be popping up for you here in just a bit. Now I'm going back with the Pool Party ink to add back some of that green ink. I do want both of the colors to be very prominent in here, and since the tonal value of the splash ink is a little bit darker, I want to make sure I have enough of that green. And that is gorgeous. I don't want it completely solid. You could keep stamping it if you do. I wanted a distressed look for my background. So I'm taking the little palm tree and the little hula girl from the kit, and I die cut those and colored them. Then I'm using Circle Infinity dies to create an image that goes on a belly band that's just made of copy paper around these little gift cards so that I can give them away. This is another card that I just love with an add-on this month, and this one as well. This die is just stunning. So head over to my blog for more information and a giveaway, and thanks so much for watching.